Hi there, and welcome to this intro to rolling at home or rolling for social isolation. I'll introduce you to the tools. You will need a set of Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Originals, a set of Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Pluses. These are the balls that come toted, and you can use them in the tote or out of the tote, alone or in a pair. This is the Alpha Ball. I like to call this ball your new best friend, or your glutes best friend, and the soft, cushy, gorgeous ball. So this set you can buy online. If you live local to me, just message me and you can come and do a porch pickup for a set of these balls, which are really, in my opinion, the best tools for home self-care and myofascial release. I also have 2 blocks, which could be helpful, and a blanket to support the knees if we happen to be kneeling. So let's start with some breath work, which is really nice with this soft, cushy, gorgeous ball. This gorgeous ball is just so great for your entire body. It can help to boost circulation of blood, fluid, lymph, and it's like the anywhere ball because it's really not going to cause any trouble at all. It's really soft and really pliable. So we'll get into a position on our backs. You can just lay down and have your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. You might like to have one knee or both knees bent, and both of those will be fine. Just make sure your low back feels comfortable and supported here. And the ball's just gonna rest on your belly. 2 hands on top. Inhale into your belly and feel it inflate up into the ball. Exhale, let your belly deflate. And the ball will gently nudge into your belly. Inhale to lengthen. And expand the belly. Exhale to soften. Just try a few rounds of this. This is called breathing into the abdominal abode, and it's very soothing for your nervous system. So if you're stressed out or you feel like you're in kind of like that fight or flight mode, just this really simple belly breath with the feedback from the ball will help to downregulate. Never want to feel like your breath is forced or even rushed. Let's keep it really smooth and even. And after your next exhale, roll the ball up so it lands somewhere on the breastbone. So it's really going to be indicative of breathing into your entire rib cage when you feel the breath move into the breastbone and even into the ball that's on your chest. So breathe into the belly as we were, about 60% of the inhale, and the remaining 40% of the breath fans open and fills up the rib cage so that you can feel the breastbone lift up into the ball. Exhale to soften the rib cage and then the belly in that order. Breathe into the belly, into the ribs. Exhale, soften the ribs, and then soften the belly in that order. So try a few rounds of that. It's called abdominal thoracic breathing. Breathe into the belly, about 60% of the inhale. The remaining 40% of the breath fills up the ribs. Exhale, the ribs soften, and then the belly softens in that order. You can also add a little bit of pressure as you exhale, pushing the ball into the sternum. And then you can move the ball to the side, roll over onto your side, and we'll just press up to a comfortable seat. So any breath work with this gorgeous ball is just made better. You get lots of feedback, and the ball can be a tool for soothing. It's a really nice tool even before you go to bed to do some breath work before sleep, which is nice. So my hope today is to give you one of my favorite practices for each ball. So the next practice I want to talk about is a practice for the hands. I've actually just spent the whole day working on a computer. Most of you know I'm a phys ed teacher, and that's not normal for me. So I'm finding that my hands, my wrists, and my forearms are really sore. And I know quite a few friends out there that have that same problem. Maybe you're working with carpal tunnel de Corvains, some of these conditions we can get even after having babies if you're in my mom and baby yoga community. So this is going to be great for everyone that's typing, that's using technology, or even that's handling and caring for a little one at home. So I have a blanket here just to support my knees. So you can grab that if you have it as well. And this sequence actually works great at a counter or a table. So you don't even have to be on the floor. You can do it right at your kitchen counter or right at a table where you can sit, and it becomes even more of a treat because you don't have to work too hard to do it. So blocks are handy, and we're actually going to use the Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Pluses for this. And to begin, just take one of those plus balls out of its little tote. And you'll notice that the ball is nice and squishy, so it's softer than a lacrosse ball. If all you got at home is a lacrosse ball, it'll do, but we want you to have a material that is as soft or softer as your actual tissue. So these balls work really well for that. So we're gonna take the ball and just put it down right underneath where our shoulders would be if we were doing like a chest compression. And I'm gonna place the ball in the center of my right palm. I'll mirror you. My left hand just creates a ring of support around my right wrist, especially if you have sensitive wrists. This is a nice idea. Drill the ball into the floor so it doesn't move, and then circle your palm over the ball. So you're not actually moving the ball, it's just shifting slightly under pressure. And you're gonna create a really nice amount of pressure in what's called the palmar fascia, especially that whole perimeter there of your palm. So this is where a lot of your forearm and finger flexors run through. These are your grippers. So it's really nice to massage the palm. Keep the palm completely relaxed and make sure the wrist is supported there. And then once you've done a few circles in both directions, you can actually sit back on your heels if this is comfortable to kneel and roll the dough. So you're just rolling the ball up and down the palmar fascia, this connective tissue on your palm that is directly connected to all of this, all the tendons of your fingers and your forearms. So you want to pay extra attention to this meaty area in your thumb. If you've been on a device using a mouse, using your phone, you're going to notice that this is super tender. So don't be too aggressive, especially the first time. Just go really light, massaging this area right here around the thumb, the thenar eminence. So what we do to one side, we want to do to the other. Let's get right back up. The ball is going to go in the center of your left palm now. The right hand supports the wrist. Get your shoulders right over your hands and start to circle your palm over the ball. It feels amazing. Wrist is nice and supported. I have really sensitive wrists, so you'll probably notice that I give a lot of safety cues for keeping the wrists happy and not aggravating them. And once you've done a few circles, sit back on the heels and roll the dough. So you're really just rolling anywhere along the palm from the heel of the hand up to the base of the fingers, paying extra attention to the thumb, just that meaty area of the thumb that has a lot of muscular tissue that can be pretty tight and get a little bit sore and achy, especially with using handheld devices. They used to have a condition called blackberry thumb that physios were treating people with, and now it's like apple thumb or tech thumb. Okay, so once you've done both sides, just give your hands a little shake. Notice if they feel any different. I already feel just this really nice, warm, kind of tingling feeling moving all the way up to my elbows. So this circulation and hydration does move up the chain and into other fascial connections, which is pretty cool. Let's go into the forearms now. So for this sequence, you're actually going to put the Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Plus back into the tote. And everything we've done for the hands and what we're going to do for the forearms, these are your balls. I like the medium size for this, but you might even prefer the smaller ones. So you're going to get comfortable seated, or like I said before, a counter or a desk or a table works even better. And you're just going to line up your blocks with the balls on top. If you're on a table surface or a counter surface, you don't need these blocks at all. I'm just using them to get the balls a little higher so I don't have to bend over and be uncomfortable doing it. So I'm going to put my pinky side down, my thumb side up, and just slide my ulna, which is this forearm bone, into the space between the two balls. And then I'm rolling up and down. So for your first time doing this, you don't need to add the pressure of a top hand, but if you want a little more pressure and you know that that is okay for you, you can add the pressure of the top hand, which feels really good. So the balls are hugging both the forearm flexors and the forearm extensors on that ulnar side of your forearm. And these muscles are so achy and sore from typing, I can't even tell you, on the computer again, because I'm not used to doing that. My job's changed a lot in the last 2 weeks, and I'm on a computer a lot more than I would like to be. So getting close to the elbow can be really nice as the muscle gets a little more tendinous and attaches above the elbow to the humerus bone. So you might want to get into that area. And you can feel free to turn the palm down and up as you find these little spots along your forearm that need some lovin'. They need a little bit of massage. The disclaimer here is to be very careful on this palm side of your wrist. Carpal tunnel, this can be very sensitive, so you're not going to put a lot of pressure on the actual wrist. And you want to make sure if you do massage this area, the wrist is nice and soft, it's not tight or taut. So a nice like will you dance with me kind of hand, and then very gentle. So play with flipping the palm up, keeping that karate chop arm, and flipping the palm down, being extra careful of that delicate area right by the wrist. There's not a lot of muscle there, not a lot of fat, so too much pressure can feel not too good there. So what we do to one side, we want to do to the other. So get comfy on the other side. Again, I'm just using these blocks to make the balls a little closer to me. And I'm going to start with my thumb up and my pinky down. Just gently roll. My forearm is a little longer than the blocks, so instead of rolling off the blocks, I actually just pick my arm up to find a new segment to roll. So first time doing it, you probably won't need the pressure of the other hand, but the pressure of the other hand can actually be quite nice and help you to get into those little body blind spots, those areas you didn't really realize were tight or tense, and you can just get into them a little more accurately with the help of the other hand. So remember, you can do palm up, which is going to get more of the extensors of the forearm. You can do palm down, which is going to get the flexors. But if you're going palm down, just be very careful of the wrist. You might even find a good little nook, like this one. I found a good spot that I just want to pin. And then flex and extend your wrist and make circles. This is called a pin and stretch. We didn't do it on the other side, but it is a really great technique just for getting more mobility for that muscle group. Okay, so that's the forearms and the hands. And so far, we've had some fun with the gorgeous ball for breath work, the Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Pluses for the hands and the forearms. I'd like to actually get you up with the Alpha Ball for the party pleaser. Everybody loves to do the glutes with the Alpha Ball. So when I say the glutes, we're talking about any of the tissue on your backside, all the way up to the back rim of the pelvis. And we're going to stay away from the tailbone because it does not feel nice to massage in any way whatsoever. And it's also very delicate. So the ball is going to go right into the center of your glute or even off to the side a little bit. And it's just freestyle at the wall. You cannot go wrong. So pinning the ball into the glute, leaning back, and just letting the tissue acclimatize to having that pressure. Make sure you're breathing, that abdominal thoracic breath. And then with soft knees, begin to make some circles. So the ball is actually just going to travel in circles through 3 different layers of tissue, actually, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. And what you're searching for here is not anatomical accuracy. You're looking for just something that feels really good. I don't know anyone who does not like massaging their glutes at the wall. It is not as intense and aggressive as massaging your glutes on, say, a foam roller on the floor. Reach back, reposition the ball if it starts to roll down or a little too far east or a little too far west, and find a new spot. So by doing circles, you're actually getting a stripping and a cross fibering action. So you're like combing through the knots in the tissue, going in the direction of the muscle fiber alignment, but you're also cross fibering and kind of agitating that way, which can be a little more intense. So just find movement that feels good for you. Enjoy it. Every other muscle in your body should be nice and relaxed. And do migrate a little bit more towards the side to highlight gluteus medius. This is an area that's tight on pretty much everyone. And if you find a good spot like I just found, oscillate into it. Teeny little movements. You lean in for more pressure. You lighten it up and lean away from the wall for less pressure. Can't go wrong. And then we'll switch sides. So when you're ready, just take the ball to the opposite hip, opposite glute, lean back, deep breath in and out, and then start to make some circles. If you hear some puppy noises, it's just my dog Luna, who's right here, ready to come out and say hi in a second. So you might even hear a little bark or a little complaint. And now she's going back to sleep, so it's okay. So remember, you can't go wrong. You're searching for that body blind spot, that area that might be a little tight, it might be overused, underused, abused, and it should feel really good, especially in the glutes. This is one that pretty much everyone can benefit from. Your glutes being rolled can soften or lessen back pain. It can help with your knees, with achy hips, and it really should just be doing you a favor, especially if you've been sitting a lot or doing less activity than you're used to. So do migrate a little bit to the side. You're still on the back, gluteus medius. Whew, this is a good spot. And when you find a really good spot there, small little movements, just oscillate into it. Feels amazing. She's looking at me with puppy eyes right now. It's okay. Okay. So one more roll, one more exploration of that glute med. I don't want to abandon this one because it feels really good. And then we'll move on. Whew, so that's the alpha. The alpha is just such a great ball for larger tissue. I love it for the shoulders and deltoids. I love it for the hips. There's some great things you can do on the back. Love this ball. One of my favorite balls. So last but not least, I would like to introduce you to the Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Ball Originals. For a while, this is all there was. And if you've been staring at a computer screen or even just experiencing some stress or tension in the head, headaches, this is going to be a really nice one for you. So we're just going to take the two balls and either one at a time or both at the same time, press the balls into the temples and spin. Press and spin. Press and spin. Press and spin. I'm almost done. She wants the balls actually. Press and spin. Press and spin. Press and spin. Press and spin. And maybe even just bring the balls into your palms and make some circles. So if it's a little too much coordination to do both at the same time, do one. You can press one ball into the temple, put a little bit of weight on it. And then just gently move your palm and your head, teeny little circles. And then you can switch to the other side. Just put the weight of your head in your palm. You can do this at a desk, which makes it such a nice little 5-minute break if you're looking at a computer. And then little circles. So just guiding the ball into circles around your temple. So the muscle here is called the temporalis. And it is a culprit, this muscle, in headaches and migraines. So you might do both at the same time, you might do one at a time. Enjoy that little massage for the temporalis. And then if you just take the balls away and notice There really is quite a lovely sensation of unburdening all those stress muscles. You might even feel like you can see better, or your eyes aren't as achy and you don't feel as fatigued looking at a computer screen. Sorry, she's really talking to me now. So those are your 4 different exercises, 4 different techniques for the yoga tune-up therapy balls. And this program at home is just such a great way to relax, to de-stress, and to practice a little bit of self-care. Okay, come here. Come here. I'd like to offer you a few more techniques in the future. If you need some of these balls, message me. And I totally recommend having the whole family, the whole collection of these therapy balls for an at-home self-care practice. So until next time, happy rolling. And if you enjoyed these techniques or you have any requests for other areas, then definitely let me know.